a little serious, a little silly. A perfect balance to start your day. Family Life Mornings.
Truth or myth? And we'll see how you do here with a few questions.
Okay.
Again, you can play along at home. All right. If you touch a baby bird with your bare hands, its mother will reject it. Randy?
That's a myth.
Brandon?
I say truth.
Well, Randy is correct. Randy's ahead 1-0. Yes, it's okay to touch a baby,
I'm already in the losing bracket.
All right. Bulls get angry when they see the color red. Is that truth or myth? Randy?
I'd say truth.
Brandon?
I, too, would say truth.
Oh, that is a myth. It's just bright colors, not necessarily red. Bats are blind. Truth or myth? Randy?
Myth.
Brandon?
I say myth as well.
That is also a myth. It's very good. Randy has a 1-point lead as we get down to the final question here on the game called Truth or Myth. Napoleon Bonaparte, extremely short. Is that truth or myth? Randy?
What do you mean extreme? That's a myth.
Yeah.
What do you say, Brandon?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I'll say truth.
Well, that is also a myth.
Oh.
It is a myth. I mean, he was 5'6", but that's kind of common back in those days.
Right, yeah,
So
that's
that
true.
kind of thing.
Okay.
So, well, we do have one. I'm sorry, a bonus question.
Oh, a bonus one.
All right.
Double the points. So,
Hey,
Brandon, you
chance
get a
for
chance to tie it up.
chances.
You have a chance to tie it up. Here we go. Have you noticed something about all these, by the way, so far? Have you noticed anything about the answer to all
They're all
these?
myths.
Yeah, here we go. All men on Family Life Morning Show are incredibly good looking. Randy?
I'm going to have to say that's a myth.
Brandon?
I like to say, I might be biased in this, I like to say that's true.
That is true. That's absolutely true.
Starting your day with a smile and a dose of encouragement, too. Family Life Mornings.
Purposes of demonstration, Randy has brought his checkbook in. So this is a warning that authorities say many people are making a mistake or could make a mistake. But I love this. There's a very easy solution to it. Right there in your checkbook, Randy, where it says date.
Yes.
And I have a tendency to do this myself. Don't write the date yet, because here's what some people have a tendency to do. Write like 1/6/20. That would be for today.
Yeah.
January 6th, 20. The trouble is, according to authorities, those numbers are now easy to change, add on to. You could write 20 whatever, after the 20. You could write any year on there.
2016.
2016 or 2022 for post-dating a check or whatever. Anyway, authorities say it's very easy to change. So here's the solution. You just simply write out, first of all, the month. January, January, and then you can write the number for the day, but then actually write 2020, right out the entire date. So Randy's writing down, there it is, January, very well, Janu20, January 6th. Now, you see where that part where it says pay to order of, right? Steve Smith. Just leave the total blank. It's okay.
Okay.
Well done.
Are you just starting your day? Well, so are we. It's Steve, Terese, and Randy on Family Life Mornings.
I am not a health nutritionist or dietitian expert, but I'm going to pretend to play one on radio when the question came up of, is it okay to wrap your leftovers in aluminum foil? And the answer is, well, that would be, it depends. I mean, there's all kinds of levels of different things. However, the experts, and I'm just passing along the words, says the best practice of all this is to put leftover foods in shallow, airtight containers and put the food in there within 2 hours of when it's been first eaten. So, I mean, you could, foil is not airtight. Aluminum foil, you're going to get some air in there. And they say it's especially dangerous with dairy and meat products. So again, you put, in many cases, a lot of work and time into preparing that food, and you want it to last a little bit longer. So those shallow, airtight containers within 2 hours is the best rule of thumb. Or do what I do. Just eat all the food.
The whole thing. Yes.
There you go. Randy and I have this thing down to a T.
The morning time. It's God's time. Thanks for waking up with Family Life Mornings.
Do you drink much milk?
Not a lot. I mean, every once in a while on a bowl of cereal, but that's kind of few and far between. I haven't had just a glass of milk in a long time.
I haven't either, but when I do drink it, it's got to be really cold. I love drinking really cold milk.
With a cookie.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying. But usually the kind of milk I drink is not whole milk. It's usually 2% milk. And a lot of people use the 2% or the 1% or the skim because the whole milk has kind of been, slammed for decades, saying that it's higher in saturated fats and because of that, not healthy for you. However, views might soon, in fact, are kind of starting to change because they've done a study and found that people who drink whole milk are 40% less likely to be overweight. Now, it has more fat in it, but it's going to keep people slimmer. That doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense until you understand the reasoning behind why this happens. When you drink whole milk, you're fuller, and you won't snack nearly as much as if you drank 2% or skim milk. So especially with teenagers and even younger kids, now the recommendation seems to be have them drink the whole milk. It's probably better for them, and it's going to help keep them from getting overweight.
Especially if you back off the cookies a little bit.
Is the sun breaking through yet? He is the dawn. You're getting your day started with Family Life Mornings.
Brandon, you are the first one here in the building in the mornings.
Right.
If you came in and unlocked everything and saw someone walking down the hall, like what's the first thing you would do?
Yeah, I'd probably call the cops.
Right, exactly. And that's this person in Missouri came into the store and saw a lady wandering around the store.
Wow.
And so he quickly called 911 and the police came and all that kind of stuff. Ends up that the lady was wandering, the police came and they talked to her and she says, I was trying out one of the mattresses over there in the store like last night, and I fell asleep. I guess no one saw me. She slept there.
Oh, my.
And then woke up in the morning and wandering around. So when asked how she was, the police asked to describe her and said, well, she looked a little embarrassed, but very well rested.
If you stick around long enough, this will all start to make sense.
It's Family Life Mornings with Steve, Terese, and Randy.
So FDA, the food labels, by the end of next year, many packages will have not only the single-serving things, fat, sugar, all the ingredients and that kind of thing, but it'll have for the entire package.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, well, what would you eat the entire package of? And so we've asked you what things. I know for me sometimes like a little pint of ice cream. Sometimes
Pint?
Randy's going for the gallon, half gallon. Deb texted us, and the other thing I thought about was chips, but she said the Pringles, the whole canister of Pringles.
Oh, yeah.
The thing about Pringles, I don't know about you, but I can't eat just like one. I have to like a stack at a time.
At a time, yeah.
So we're asking you, you don't have to give your name on the phone. That's between you and the Lord.
Spring Creek, Pennsylvania.
What?
Peanut butter M&Ms.
Peanut butter M&Ms.
They are so addicting.
Yes.
It's terrible.
Yes. And then here comes the tough part. Just stopping at one package. That's the tough thing.
Well, you buy the 2-pounder.
Oh, my.
Hi, Family Life. What town you calling from?
Wyndham Center.
All right. What are those things? You eat the entire package.
M&M's, peanut M&M's. It doesn't matter if it's the regular size bag or the share bag. If I open it up,
There's no sharing here.
if I open it up, they're all gone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm calling from Butler, PA.
All right. It's good to know because there may not be any things left of what? What do you eat the entire package of?
Mine is key lime pie.
You eat a whole key lime pie, huh?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, when you put some Oreos and M&Ms on that key lime pie, you just can't stop.
We can't always take your call, but we will see your text if you send a message to 888-413-4156.
This is Family Life Mornings.
I love a good trivia game or a good trivia show.
Me too.
And, it's fun to,
It is.
to try to play along, and none better going on right now. And I won't tell you the result from last night in case you taped it and want to watch it. But Prime Time Jeopardy, the 3 top winners of all time are going head to head, and it's just amazing. Sometimes you think, I don't know if you're like this, but it's like, okay, I think I know a little bit about a lot until you see these people play.
Exactly.
You're like, how do they know all this? It's
yeah.
like I'm just a little rookie that doesn't know anything. But I was really impressed. It was encouraging last night in that in the second game of the 2 they played last night, the final Jeopardy category was the Bible. Every time I see that, it's like, ooh, I
Oh,
want to see what
wow.
they have.
Yeah, I
So
like it when they have that category because
Yeah, so-
I usually do pretty well in it.
just the fact that they are doing that on national TV, the
Yeah.
Bible, it's great to get the
Yeah.
word in you. We talk about the 30-day challenge and getting the word in.
Yeah.
Anyway, the final Jeopardy answer was basically the first 6 words in the Gospel of John. And I was encouraged because all 3 contestants got it correct. And so that was very good.
That's amazing.
Now, if you heard the clue, the first 6 words of the Gospel of John, if you had written down in the beginning was the word, you'd have gotten it wrong. Jeopardy, you're supposed to say, what is? In the beginning was the word.
While you're packing your lunch, they're packing your mornings with a whole lot of fun. It's Steve, Terese, and Randy on Family Life. A friend you can turn
To
to.
learn new things, sometimes we have to fail. That's just part
very
of the
true.
process, right?
Yeah.
You fail. Have you ever wondered, is there a optimum failure rate? Like, what's the right amount of failure? Just the right amount.
I've never really thought about
Because you
that.
wouldn't want to fail at everything.
Exactly.
Every single time, but you don't want to get, anyway, someone actually did a study on this. I guess you could label it optimum failure.
Huh.
Lots of different things, and they said 85%. The 85% rule, they did a lot of things through computers and different things, and so they figured that 85% is just the right amount of failure in order to learn things. It reminded me of, remember in school when some teachers used to grade on a curve?
Yes.
That kind of thing.
I
This-
liked those teachers.
This information would have come in really handy because if I had gotten like an 82 or an 83, that would have been like an A minus. I don't know. So
If it's too early for you to start thinking about real life, it's okay. You can hang out with us as long as you want.
This is Family Life Mornings.
I was stumped when I saw this. So I'm going to ask you guys, Brandon, Randy, if you would have a guess on this. It mentioned every time you fly in an airplane, you should take this item in your carry-on bag every single time without fail. And when it said tennis ball,
What?
yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Why tennis ball? Any guesses why, Brandon? I mean, why would you take a tennis ball in your carry-on bag on an airplane? I guessed wrong, but
I don't know. That's a good thing. Maybe you could cut it in half or something.
Randy, do you have any
to,
guesses?
to rub on the bottom of your feet.
Or anywhere.
Yeah.
Actually, circulation is a
Yeah,
problem
right.
in an airplane when you're sitting, and it's not convenient many times to get up and walk up and down the aisle. Sometimes
Right.
it's impossible. Sometimes it's at least inconvenient. And so they say anything like on your neck, on your shoulders, because blood circulation and flow is a tough thing. So yeah, you can use the tennis ball always on an airplane. To that, my guess was wrong when it said tennis ball. I thought like a nice game of doubles, or bouncing it against the person's head right in front of you.
Ah,
Or fetch.
yeah.
What? Go fetch.
Go fetch.
All guesses were wrong. Randy was right.
This is Family Life. A friend you can turn to.
Might want to check your homeowner's insurance today after you hear this. A Georgia couple had come back from a nice vacation, opened up their door, and found that their house had been ransacked. Thousands of dollars of damage.
Ooh.
But the doors were remaining locked. They were still locked. The alarm had been triggered, and they looked around with all the different problems, and then they found the culprit. Nesting in their couch was a squirrel that had gotten into the house, apparently down through the chimney. And so they called the insurance adjuster, and the adjuster said, well, sorry, the company does not cover damage from rodents. And the owner heard that, and he goes, nuts. And right then the squirrel jumped out. No, I could use some nuts right about now.
Family Life Mornings with Steve, Terese, and Randy. Thanks for making us part of your day. We're a friend you can turn to.
Getting out of my comfort zone in the year 2020, and this deals with being in the kitchen. I'm not normally a cook. Sure, I grill foods out on the grill and that kind of thing, but I'm not the kind of guy, I never have been, that takes a recipe and from scratch makes things. But I thought, for 2020, I'm going to use a little different part of my brain, get out of my comfort zone. They say try something new.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, none of this may be new to you, but it's new to me. And so my encouragement is just to try something new. And like already, I've made cookies from scratch this year. The other day, I made a chicken stir fry from scratch. Again, that's nothing amazing maybe for you, but for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when I see something like, what do you do with your pasta water? Well, yes, I have made pasta before in my life, cooked spaghetti noodles or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
But I just dump the water water out. That's what I always do. Now, apparently, you're to save after cooking that, use the tongs or the pasta fork to lift the spaghetti out or the noodles out. Then you leave water at the bottom. Take about a cup of water, add it to the sauce, and it makes for a richer sauce, and the salt content in that adds some extra flavor. So that's what I've learned. It's like I'm paying attention now to cooking things. I'm using a different part of my brain because the old part's worn out a little bit. So that's what I'm doing.
So the other parts work?
Well, that's the thing. Maybe next year I'll learn how to tell a good joke. But this year, I'm focusing on the kitchen. That's just for me.
You know we're friends because we're already on a first-name basis. It's Family Life Mornings with Steve, Terese, and Randy from Family Life, a friend you can turn to.
Well, your toothpaste probably comes in a flavor like spearmint or
Right.
cool mint
Yeah.
or fresh mint.
Love
or
those mints, yeah.
You see like a trend here.
Yeah.
But maybe it should come in harvest berry flavor. Which made me think about when we were a kid. Wasn't it like Tutti Frutti or like it was horrible by adult standards, but as kids we loved that. But they've just found out that blueberries and cranberries reduce tooth decay.
Wow.
And so, I mean, if nothing else, I guess eat those. But,
Right.
I mean, toothpaste and blueberry or cranberry. I mean, good news is you'd have no cavities. Bad news is you'd have that reddish purple residue all over your teeth.
Class
right?
picture smiles would be kind of...
We know you have lots of choices. Thank you for picking Family Life Mornings.
Remember when you were a kid? Everything was simpler when you were a kid, and you were
Sure.
like, "This is the best days of my life," right? Things were a lot simpler then. They actually asked kids, "What is the most awesome thing about being a kid?" I love their answers. Number 3 is school holidays.
Yes, school holidays are nice.
You don't have that anymore where like everyone at work has the same
right.
day off for like
Right.
a week and a half. That doesn't happen. Feeling loved by your parents is number 2. Wow. Maybe as grown-ups, we kind of crave that, knowing that somebody's always looking out for you. And then number 1 is getting presents at Christmas.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
It's totally the best. And also getting presents without having to buy presents. I think that's the catch. That's what makes being a kid so awesome.
But kids, wait till you get to be adults when you can eat dessert whenever you want.
oh, yeah.
We hope the rest of your day is just as much fun as this.
Family Life Mornings with Steve, Terese, and Randy.